Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 197 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. We're doing one thing every day this year to get what we want in the different areas and aspects of our life, right? To get our goals, because that's how we get what we want. That's how we go from where we are to where we want to be in each of the different areas and aspects of our life. And this month we are focusing on our relationships, the relationship area and aspect of a life framework that I've used for the 9-part life framework I've just used since 2021. But prior to that, back in the 1980s, I know, decades ago, I learned a life framework from Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, and other leadership gurus and personal development gurus that I've used ever since when it comes to trying to take my life and add a little meaning and structure and understanding and reduce the chaos in it. So today we're talking about a couple of topics, and you can think of these as good or bad, but we all do it. We all make excuses, we all give reasons, we all blame, and we all have justification for everything that we do and say and think and believe. And those things impact our relationships. Now, excuses, for example, are our attempt to shift responsibility, especially when it's a negative thing, off of us and onto someone or something else. Reasons are actually usually genuine explanations of our intent or why we behaved or why we acted in a certain way. Blame is trying to hold someone else responsible for something that happens, or some way that we feel, or something we think or believe, just to shift the blame off of ourselves and kind of take the attention off of ourselves and put it on someone else, whether it's got anything to do with that person or entity or not. And then justifications are an attempt to rationalize our actions and our behaviors and make them seem maybe different than what they actually were, or that the results we wanted to be different than what they actually are. They're, again, excuses, reasons, blame, and justifications are all pretty much the same thing, right? They're all excuses and reasons, but reasons are a more positive way of saying excuses. Justification is our way of trying to get off the hook, just like blaming something or someone else is. So the toll of excuses evades trust, and it reduces our accountability in relationships, right? And we want more trust in our relationships, not less. The importance of genuine reasons opens up and increases trust when we're actually being vulnerable and sharing why we thought that something was a good idea at the time, even if the results showed that it wasn't a good decision or a good choice. If we share what we were thinking, and that we're learning the lesson of, okay, well, that didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. Reasons are, in my mind, better than excuses or justifications or blame. The blame is a great distraction, but it is really destructive in our relationships. If we're blaming the other person for things that really aren't their fault, or that they don't have any control over, kind of just wasting our time and energy, and we're just trying to shift attention again and take it off of ourselves and put it on someone else. But until we take personal responsibility for everything in our part, all of our feelings, actions, thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, intents in the relationship isn't going to be as solid as it could be. And the need for healthy justifications, meaning we need to check and learn from our own patterns versus justifying why we did something. I did this because I was tired. I did this because I was hangry. I did this because of whatever. If we're just making those justifications or excuses over and over again and never learning and changing our behavior to get better results, we're never going to get better results. We're never going to learn. So we want to, with everything that's I consider negative, we want to figure out what is the root cause of the behavior. Why do we feel that we have to make excuses, justify, give reasons, blame, make our case for anything in our relationships? Well, normally because there is a communication breakdown, or because we have unresolved emotional baggage, maybe from past relationships, or we have fear of confrontation. Maybe this happens a lot in work environments. People are afraid, maybe not for their job, but maybe to save face or to be embarrassed or whatever, especially in the workplace, as well as low self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem, you're less likely to partake in personal development and you're less likely to take responsibility for your behavior. Strategies to deal with excuses, reasons, blame, and justification. Foster open communication in relationships. Achieve and practice active listening. Reflect on your own behaviors. Learn from your own behaviors and from the results of things that you think, do, feel, and say. And if you're not getting the result you want, nobody can change that but you. So take personal responsibility. I don't even know if that's on the list, but it ought to be. Address past wounds if and when appropriate. Establish boundaries. Make sure there's boundaries in your relationships. And then finally, build each other's self-esteem. If you're in a relationship, the purpose is to build someone else's self-esteem. Again, in work environments and in a lot of our personal relationships that we have, we pick the wrong person that does just the opposite. I was in a relationship like that. So what's our action item today? Go about your day today and notice, and maybe even tally up if you're brave, how many times you make excuses or give reasons or blame something or give a justification for a decision that you made. Do you feel like you need to justify your decisions to people that you're in relationships with? Do you feel like you need to blame the news or blame the media or blame politicians or blame the economy or blame lack of sleep or blame that you're busy or whatever? Because sometimes we use those same things for excuses as well as reasons. Well, I'm late for work today because of traffic. Well, you're blaming traffic, but could you not have left earlier? Could you not have looked up traffic or weather on your cellular device to know what to expect so that you planned better and then you weren't late? So the point is, sometimes there's things we can control, sometimes there's things we can't. We can always control our own thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and our choices and actions, whether we want to take responsibility for those or not. I say the more we take responsibility for, the more we own our life, the more we embrace and become the best version of ourselves as we go through this journey called life, the better our relationships will be. That's it for today. Any questions, hit me up. Of course, as usual, there's a write-up in Guide 17 of the Get Up and Go Challenge private Facebook group page. It would be day 197 of Guide 17 that goes into these in a little more detail. But you're always welcome to ask me. And I'm going to do the same thing today. I'm going to pay attention to how many times I'm making excuses. How many times am I blaming technology or something else? How many times am I saying, oh, I just have allergies, or that's just the way I am? Whenever I'm saying that's just the way I am I, or is that just an excuse or a reason I'm trying to give to justify a result that I'm getting that isn't really a result that I want? All right, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.